Today we will discuss on TCP/IP protocol suite. Previous lecture we had discussed the OSI layers. So how many layers are there? Like layer by layer we have discussed what is the physical layer and what are its functionalities, data link layer and its functionalities or responsibilities, network layer, transport layer, session layer. Likewise, we have to discuss each and every layer. Okay, coming to the TCP/IP protocol suite. We all know that what is a protocol? Protocol is a set of rules and regulations, right? Protocol is a set of rules and regulations that govern by data communications. You know that one, right? So, coming to the protocol suite. Protocol suite means the group of protocols are working together. Working together is called the protocol suite, right? So, coming to the TCP/IP, what is meant for the TCP and IP? TCP means transmission control protocol. IP means internet protocol. That's the full form for the TCP/IP. Transmission control protocol, internet protocol, IP. So, coming to the TCP/IP protocol, this is the architecture for the TCP/IP protocol. So, in this one, we have only four layers. Those are the physical layer, data link layer. Coming to the previous OSI layers, the physical layer and data link layer combinedly we call as only one layer, that is host to network layer. Next one is network layer. The second layer in TCP/IP, network layer. Third one is transport layer, and fourth one is applications, presentation and session layers. These are combined we call as a application layer, right? So finally, how many layers? Four layers. Coming to the first one, this is the first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. Whereas in the OSI layers, we have 7 layers, right? So that is the only difference between the previous OSI layers and the TCP/IP protocol suite, TCP/IP layers. So coming to the TCP/IP and OSI layers. OSI layers are implemented by ISO. What is the full form for ISO? International Standard Organizations. They implemented OSI, right? Whereas the TCP/IP protocol suite implemented by ARPA. ARPA, Advanced Research Protocol Agency. So the first one is implemented TCP/IP, and the first implemented one is the TCP/IP. TCP/IP, the first one. Later they implemented, the ISO implemented OSI. Okay, so already I said the previous lecture, OSI is a reference model only, not a fully implemented layer. Whereas in TCP/IP is implemented model. Presently, the running model is TCP/IP protocol suite, right? So these are the layer by layer discussion. Coming to the physical layer and data link layer. So we call as a host to network layer. Host to network layer. So host to network layer means in OSI reference layers, what are the responsibilities of physical layer and data link layer? Physical layer can accept electromagnetic signals or analog signals as input and produces the bits. It's upper layer, right? So whereas the data link layer, it can accept zeros and ones as the input and produces the frames, right? So we combined in the TCP/IP, combined we call as a host to network layer. And next one is the network layer. So in OSI layers, we call as network layer, whereas here we call as a IP layer, internet protocol layer, IP layer, right? Why it is IP layer? So again, I will tell you in TCP/IP, transmission control and protocol and IP internet protocol. In transmission control protocol, it is a connection oriented protocol. It is a reliable protocol, right? So whereas IP means it is a connectionless protocol. IP is a connectionless protocol. It is an unreliable protocol, right? So we combinedly in this architecture, we combinedly reliable as well as unreliable protocols, or connectionless as well as and connection oriented protocols. So we combinedly these two mechanisms in this TCP/IP protocol suite, right? So in IP layer, we have different protocols are there, different one is there. Those are the ARP, advanced. So ARP, Address Resolution Protocol. The full form for ARP is Address Resolution Protocol. RARP, Reverse Address Resolution Protocol. ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. IGMP, Internet Group Message Protocol. These are the full form for, these are the responsibilities of IP layer. ARP. Coming to the ARP, Address Resolution Protocol. what is used for this one, address resolution protocol? In address resolution protocol is it can map with MAC address, or it can identify the destination MAC address and the destination MAC address and source MAC address or source logical address. These two are mapped. Why it is required? I will tell you one example. So this is system 1 and system 2, and this is switch. System 3, system 4. Right. These are the different systems. In a LAN, we have 4 systems for there. System 1, system 2, system 3 and system 4. Coming to the system 1 IP address is suppose 10.1.1.10 and 10.1.1.11, 10.1.1.12, 10.1.1.13. This is the IP address. With the help of logical IP address, so all the systems are interconnected. Then they can share the resources. Right. So what is the use of the MAC address? So what is the difference between logical address and MAC address, or IP address and MAC address? So IP address is this is like IP address. MAC address means it is also unique address. Its address is like the device having one address is there. Every device having one MAC address is there. Right. So like in our vehicles, like two-wheelers or four-wheelers, like you have to notice that the chassis number is there. What is the use of chassis number? The chassis number is it is also unique number. It is a unique number for that vehicle, unique number. Suppose in IP address like some AP07 like AB and 9595. Please assume. So AP07BA9595. This is for logical. Please assume this is for logical address. So generally the theft people or intruders, they can easily change these IP addresses. They can change the number plates, but they can't change the MAC address, or they can't change the chassis number. Right. If the policeman identified based on the chassis number only, because maybe the theft people they can change the number plate. They can't change the MAC address. Right. So coming to the system 1 wants to connect system 4. System 1 wants to send message to system 4. The simply request to the switch. The request comes to the switch. The same, whenever it reaches the request, and the same request goes for every device in that networks. How many devices are there? The same request goes for every device. So means the final intention is system 1 intention is it is IP address is 10.1.10 and they want to connect 10.1.13. Right. So the request is I want to connect 10.1.13. This is the source and this is the destination. So the remaining two like system 2 and system 3, these two are the request also goes for these two systems, but they are not in 10.1.13. Then simply discard it. The simply message is discarded. Then it reaches the destination. The destination is 10.1.13. Yeah, it's a condition is true. Means the IP address is true, and it can goes for again reply for it's a MAC address. Coming to the switch can maintain one table. The table is nothing but logical address along with MAC address also. So final fourth, what is the use of ARP means address resolution protocol. It can connect logical, it can associate with the logical address and MAC address. Logical address and MAC address. Someone knows what is the IP spoofing? IP spoofing. IP spoofing is like one attack. Attack in the sense the intruder or unauthorized person enter into our system and he can theft our MAC address. And whenever he can theft any other system, he act as our MAC address only. So that's why the policemen or the cyber security people, they can't identify easily. Right. So that is meaning for the IP spoofing. Okay. Finally, what is ARP? ARP is a logical address. ARP is a address resolution protocol. It can connects logical address with associate with the MAC address. Right. So this is for ARP. Coming to the RARP. What is the use of RARP? The full form for RARP means reverse address resolution protocol. So in previous mechanism, ARP mechanism, we have to identify the MAC address, whereas in RARP, we have to identify logical address. Means suppose is not a here. The logical like MAC address is suppose 55.e2.f6.25 1 2 3 4 2422. Likewise, it is a 6 digit 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the MAC address. Every system having the MAC address. So these MAC address are identifying. So this is the source mission, and similarly in destination mission also the IP address is there and MAC address is there. So the source mission wants to IP for the destination missions, IP address for the destination missions. Then again, you can send request to the system 4. Then the system 4 can reply it. Then whenever it is replied, the IP address is stored in switch, or the same IP address is given to the source address. Okay, so simply reverse of ARP. ARP we have to identify the MAC address, whereas RARP we have to identify the logical address. Right. So this is these two are for ARP and RARP. So coming to the next one is ICMP and IGMP. So Internet Control Message Protocol and Internet Group Message Protocols. The full form for those two. So what is the use of ICMP protocol? In ICMP protocol, you have to see it can controls means it can identify the errors are there in our network. Errors are there. How it can identify? Similarly, some books maybe they will say that suppose every 1 minute or every 1 second or 2 seconds. So these are the one networks. These are the one LAN networks. Every 2 seconds. So every systems having sending one message is called one message. That message is like we call as a are you alive or not? Are you alive? Are you alive? Like a one like a echo message. Echo message. Are you alive? Are you alive? Something. Why they can sending every 1 minute or 1 second or 2 second echo message means if any system fail and the remaining systems all knows that system is failed. Maybe the problem is maybe network failure or the cable failure, whatever it may be, or system failure. Okay, so the ICMP protocol identifies the errors, which system is having a problem, any errors are there in that networks. Okay, so that is use of ICMP. Coming to the IGMP is a group of message protocols, means it can connect multi-host networks. So more number of systems have connected with the help of IGMP. So these two are the host to host network layer and network layer. Coming to the transport layer. So in OSI layers, what is the use of transport layer? Transport layer acts as a process to process communication, right? So the bottommost 3 layers are network oriented layers, the topmost 3 layers are user oriented layers. The transport layer, the middle layer is a transport layer. The transport layer acts as a process to process communication, right? Whereas here in transport layer, we have protocols are there, mainly 3 protocols. TCP protocol, transmission control protocol, UDP protocol, user datagram protocol, SCTP, stream control transmission protocol. Mainly 3 protocols are there. So you observed our the protocol shoot is a TCP IP, TCP. So we have to combine the TCP and along with IP, TCP and IP, right? TCP is a connection oriented protocol, IP is a connectionless protocol, right? TCP is a reliable protocol, IP is a unreliable protocol. Okay, so we are combining 2 mechanisms, connectionless and connection oriented, reliable and reliable. Likewise, so TCP is a connection oriented protocol. Whenever the connection is there, the data is transferred reliable manner. Reliable manner means whatever we send data to reach the destination without crashes, without discarding, it can reach the destination. That is the use of transmission, the connection oriented mechanism, right? So next one is UDP. UDP means user datagram protocol. It is also a connectionless protocol. Means it is an unreliable protocol also. Whenever you remember this one, UDP means it is an unreliable protocol. User datagram protocol is an unreliable protocol. You have to mention in the postal department. Anyone having may arise a doubt. What is a connection oriented? What is a connectionless? Connection oriented means logically there is no connection between nodes. Logically there is no connection, means there is no physical connection, but whenever a TCP is there, so the TCP is sending message to the destination, one system to another system. There is no physical path is there, but the path is established between source and destination in the sense logical manner. All the packets are chooses the same path. Whenever the connection is established between these two systems, then only all the packets are transferred from that path only, right? So that is the meaning for the connection oriented. What about a connectionless? Connectionless means there is no connections between network. In a sense, physically there is no connection. Logically there is a connection, but suppose I want to send system 1 to system 4, the packets is come to here, all the packets, and it go for different direction. One packet is going for this direction, one other packet is going for this direction, and we have another path also there. Please assume. So one path is going to this direction, one packet is going to another direction, one packet is going this direction, finally reach the destination. That is the meaning for the connectionless, right? Whereas in connection oriented means all the packets are moving the same direction only. So that is a TCP, UDP, and the next one is SCTP, stream control transmission protocol. In the sense, so it can combine these 2 protocols, TCP and UDP. Let's combine these 2 protocols, then it is a SCTP. Okay, so coming to the next one is the fourth layer is application layer. Those are from session layer, presentation layer, and application. These 3 are combined in the TCP. One layer is called application layer, right? So in this one, SMTP, these are the protocols. SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. FTP, file transfer protocol. DNS, domain name systems. SNMP, simple name mail protocol, and Telnet. These are the different protocols are there in application layer, right? So in OSI layers, we have learned OSI layers. So what is the use of application layer? Application layer is like a end-to-end user connection. Means with the help of application layer only, we have to connect networks. Like you are open the Google Chrome, Firefox, or any browsers. Then only you can type it google.com. So in that position, application layer is there, right? So presentation layer. What is the responsible presentation layer? The encryption and decryption. So whatever we typed in that message, and it can be converted into the another format. The sense. So actually we entered the text message or plain text. That plain text is converted into the scrambled message or ciphertext. Ciphertext. So already previous lecture I said what is how it can be converted into the ciphertext. Maybe A to Z we have to assume 1 to 26. Maybe it can be simply high, like in numbers. A is located 1, H is located some 7 something, like I is located some other position. So that is scrambled message or ciphertext. So that is the use of one. And session layer can provide the sessions. Okay. So finally, these are the TCP/IP protocol suite. The main difference between OSI layers and TCP/IP is OSI layer is implemented by ISO, International Standard Organization, whereas the TCP/IP protocol suite implemented by ARPA. So the first implemented layer is TCP/IP protocol suite. Presently, we are using layer is the ARPA TCP/IP protocol suite, whereas the OSI is reference model only, not a fully implemented model. Suppose in a real-time scenario we have any doubts, any problem in networks, then we have to check for the OSI layers, right? So this is the main difference between TCP/IP protocol suite and OSI layers. Thank you for watching. Thank you all.